All right. Hey, welcome back to the second episode of the Nosebleed Report. How we all doing, guys?
Good. Happy New Year.
Um, Nosebleed Report is a show where we give our expertise, where our expertise is the exact opposite of that. A couple morons talking about sports. But the goal here is we're just having fun, talk about sports. We're going to ask you guys to tip us in the links down below, and that money will go to sponsoring Little League youth sports all across the Middle Tennessee and hopefully Middle Texas. Today we have a newcomer, Mr. John Evans. Would you like to introduce yourself there, buddy?
What's up, man? I'm John Evans, big sports fan, and I'm excited to be a part of your show.
Hell yeah, we're excited to have you. You're also a Little League coach too, correct?
Yeah, I did a Little League first season. Yeah, now I'm playing slow pitch softball. So.
Oh, nice. And you were recently married, and I hear you have a little Evans on the way now.
I do. June 13th.
Yes, congratulations, man.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
How's the weather down there in Texas there, Paulie?
Well, it started out this morning at about 15 degrees, and now it's about 34 out right now. So just that time of year again.
Yes. All right, man. Let's hop into it, man. We're just gonna hit the bowl games this past week. First one I want to talk about Michigan State. Last year, if you guys told me that Michigan State was going to have 11 wins and win a Peach Bowl, I would not have believed it. We were 2-7 last year. This year we're 11-2 with the Peach Bowl win, and I was a little nervous because Walker sat out, and we kind of bitched about that last episode. The running back for Michigan State sat out, and also the quarterback. Turns out Pittsburgh's quarterback goes out with a pretty bad injury in the first quarter. And I'm pretty sure that kid's saying, "Oh, thank God I sat out now."
Yeah. Same thing with not to change games, but Matt Corral decided to play in the Sugar Bowl last night, and it's a scary situation for him as well. But no, that was a fun game to watch. I had a feeling with Pittsburgh's quarterback being out that Michigan State was probably going to be the favorite there, but Pittsburgh did put up a really good fight. You said that last year they were 2-7. Is that right?
Yes, with the shortened COVID season.
Yeah,
and their marquee win last year was again, of course, against the Wolverines. So we won 2 games last year, and one of them was against a team that made it to the Final Four this year. So that's always pretty exciting.
Well, that's interesting because Baylor had won 2 games last year and wound up ending the season with 12 wins. Same with Michigan. So it's a kind of an interesting thing to see how a lot of teams were able to overcome last year's crazy debacle of a season. So that's 3 teams that won 2 games last year and wound up being double-digit victors.
Yeah, and by the way, both me and you picked Ole Miss, and Paulie picked Baylor.
Yes, nice call.
Good job, little guy.
Homer.
Got her done. That was a nice win by Michigan State. They were trailing 21-10, and they came back and they had 3 fourth quarter touchdowns, I believe, and Pitt was on a drive at the end, but then Michigan State picked them off, 78-yard touchdown. So they pretty much put the nail in the coffin at that point.
Yeah. So I was talking a lot of shit on Facebook about Michigan because they lost, obviously, and Michigan State won. I think they both ended up with an 11-2 record. And my thing is, my point that I was trying to drive home was, hey, I'll take all day long a 11-2 Michigan State record beating in-state rival Michigan in the same year and a New Year's Six Bowl. I would take that season all day long. And my Michigan friends are like, man, you're crazy. I would much rather lose to Michigan State and play for the national championship every year and get my ass kicked in the national championship game. I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me. I'll take a Peach Bowl, New Year's Six game victory all day long.
I agree. The only thing I wonder is how much more money are you making by going to the playoffs than you are by going to a Peach Bowl? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Well, with the new NIL deal, the players stand to make some money with exposure and whatnot. So we had talked last time about how it would be a big deal, these kids that sit out like the quarterback and running back did in the in the Michigan State game. But when it will become big news is when some premier player sits out of the playoff and the national championship. That's when it'll be big news, I think.
Well, these schools make big money too by these bowl games they go to, so it's a win-win for everybody in the programs.
Hey, so by the way, John, last week it was our first episode, and we all introduced ourselves. But I know George is an Alabama fan. I'm a Michigan State fan, Detroit Lions fan. Paulie's a Chicago Bears. Who do you got? What's your teams?
I'm an NC State fan, man. They're not yeah, man, Wolfpack. The most popular team ever, but I grew up in the Raleigh area, and my dad actually he got season tickets when Phillip Rivers was there. So I watched Phillip Rivers. I watched Russell Wilson play a lot of football there. So yeah, I'm a big Pack fan, and we got handed the Holiday Bowl. So
man, that was so terrible. I felt bad for the kids because that game was canceled hours before kickoff. It wasn't like they announced it, last week. Well, we can't do it, and they had already traveled there. I think there was another team that went to Hawaii, and they canceled that game.
They were supposed to play in Hawaii, and they got canceled.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right on. All right, let's talk about the Rose Bowl for a second, man. Utah had Ohio.
They had them down.
They had them down hard, and I was super excited about it. And Ohio comes back and wins it. So I think Utah scored 35 points in the first half, but only a field goal in the second half.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when they lost Rising in the fourth quarter, that was bad. And then that freshman came in and he tried to do what he could, but it was tough. Stroud in that receiver. I'm going to blow his name here. That guy broke the record for all bowl games for receiving yards, 346 yards, and Stroud had like 573 yards. Them two, and the receiver had 3 touchdowns on top of it.
Was it Olave?
Olave,
is that who it is?
Smith and Jiba.
Yeah.
And
Jiba.
Yeah, Andy's from Rockwell, just about an hour and a half from here. He played high school ball here.
Awesome.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not sure why he went all the way from Texas to Ohio State, but hey, I guess the Longhorns couldn't get him, so whatever.
340 some odd yards in one game. That's a good reason. So
yeah. 346 yards, 3 touchdowns. Like I said, Stroud had 573 yards, 6 touchdowns. It was just I think there was 6 touchdowns in the second quarter in this game. But I was pulling for the Utes. That would have been a great win for that program. But Ohio State prevailed.
Yeah, I'm looking at my notes right here, and all 3 of us picked Ohio, but I was definitely pulling for the Utes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I did like the Utes. They had those special helmets with the rose on them.
Yeah,
that was dope.
Yeah,
I like them.
Yeah, it was sharp.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the Fiesta Bowl, Notre Dame, Oklahoma State. George picked Notre Dame, and Paulie and I picked Oklahoma State.
Yeah, with their new coach, I thought Coach Friedman had rallied the troops after Kelly had left abruptly, when they frankly were in the middle of possibly playing for the playoff, which was really shocking. But the way they rallied, I thought that they would come out gangbusters, which they did. They just blew the lead.
Well, see, I picked Oklahoma State for the opposite reason you did, George. Marcus Freeman, a new coach coming in midstream, trying to figure out what he's got here for a team. That's a tough position to be in. That's, in my opinion. But it's a tough first loss. But Oklahoma State University, their offensive tempo kept Notre Dame's defense on their heels. I mean, they went to that RPO quick pass offense, and Notre Dame was just exhausted out there big time. But still, it was a close game.
Yeah, for sure.
I Earlier today, it said Notre Dame lost their last 8 BCS bowl games the last however many years. So they're going to be tough to pick in a bowl game from here on out.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Orange Bowl, all three of us had Georgia. It looks like that one turned out well for us.
Yeah, it was a much bigger blowout than I expected. I felt that Georgia might have been exposed in the Alabama game, and I still can't figure out the SEC championship game now after what I saw Georgia do to Michigan. I've heard some comments watching a game last night. Greg McElroy was calling the Sugar Bowl, and sort of had made some comments about the matchup for the national championship game, and it was almost like he was insinuating that Georgia was in the SEC championship game, but just they weren't all there. They didn't want it as bad as Bam or whatever. And I'm sitting there going, well, what kind of competitor would go into a championship game and not want it? So I don't understand that logic. That still is mind-boggling to me what Alabama was able to do to Georgia after what I've seen Georgia do this weekend. That was a fantastic ball game.
Yeah, I think Georgia, they didn't play to their potential, obviously, and I think Alabama is always in their head, so which brings us up to the next game. But we'll talk about the next game here in a minute.
On the Michigan game, Fleekster, talking about potential, Hutchinson and Ajabo didn't do nothing in that game. They didn't have no sacks. Hutchinson's highly, Heisman candidate, and Georgia shut them guys down basically.
Yeah, and the talks is Hutchinson might go first overall. So that's a great point. That's a great point.
I just think it's another Harbaugh failure. Go figure.
The Cotton Bowl. So Alabama dismantles Cincinnati, which brings up the question: do these smaller teams belong in the Final Four when they go undefeated? It's a touchy situation right here, man. It's a touchy subject.
I mean, they consistently kind of prove that themselves not to be allowed back. I would love to see a team like an undefeated Utah team or Cincinnati team go to and make a run at it. But every time that you put them in there, they usually end up getting smacked by the team.
I think the only time they deserve to be in a game like that is if you open up the playoffs to maybe an 8-game playoff. Then of course they would earn their way in. But I think what were they before that game? 12-0, 11-0,
12-0,
12-0.
It may have been 13.
I think it was 13-0, and
they played a championship game.
Yeah, I mean Navy almost beat them in the beginning of the year. Navy took them. I think Navy only lost by, I think the final score of that game was 27-20. So, but Alabama looked like Alabama, and which brings us to the next game, Alabama Georgia. I think I'm gonna go on record here. I think Georgia's gonna win this one.
Wow.
Get revenge, huh?
Well, it's hard. They're both SEC teams, and we talked about SEC being far above out of everybody else's league, and here we are with the championship. Both teams are SEC, the cream of the crop.
Yeah,
the cream always floats to the top. Alabama put it to Georgia in the championship game a couple weeks ago. I think it's very hard to beat the same team twice. I think Georgia's going to do it.
I like their quarterback, man. I like him. He's at the college level. Yeah. In their last bowl game when he put 4 different receivers in the end zone. That's hard to do at the college level. You see it a lot in the pros, but to spread it out like that, I think that Georgia's got a chance. But I don't know. Alabama's tough to beat, man.
Well, Alabama's beat them 7 times in a row, guys. I agree with Fleekster, though. Beating a team in close proximity twice, there's film now,
Yeah,
and the
exactly.
other team, a lot more to play for, pride-wise than Bama. It's a championship game. I got Georgia's favored by 2.5 points right now. Of course, that changes. The game gets closer, but In my opinion, I got Georgia taking that game because just because it's hard to beat somebody 2 times in a row in a short span.
Yeah, and what's more important than film is they just played 2 weeks ago and they saw it, live, face to face. You know what I'm saying? I think Alabama's going to have their hands full. Again, can't ever count Nick Saban out. The dude's he's a wizard at what he does.
Yeah,
but
Brock Bowers from Georgia is just amazing. Just don't let the pedestrian, sort of boring, methodical game plan that they had against Cincinnati fool you. And the reason I say that is that but what they did to Cincinnati was by design. They knew they could run the ball, and they did it over and over and over again. And it was just, Robinson had 204 yards rushing or something like that. It's a Alabama rushing record in a bowl game. So game plans will change based on what they're, who they're playing.
That is true. Yeah.
And it could be a whole nother game plan that they have designed that it may not be the same as the SEC championship game, let alone the Cotton Bowl against Cincinnati. So when I was watching that game, the Cotton Bowl game, I was thinking to myself, yeah, they knew that they could run the ball, and that was the game plan. We're running the ball, and it's going to be a little bit boring to watch, but it was another domination.
Well, I think the big boys up front in that Georgia-Bama game are going to be key to whoever wins. Robinson had 204 yards in that last game. So Bama established a ground game against a weaker opponent by Cincy. So, and also Bama's defense got like 5 sacks in the Cincy game. But I think this game is going to be decided in the trenches. Who wins the O-line, D-line battles? And in my opinion, that's what's going to predict who wins this game.
Yeah. Well, I went into the future, and I picked this clip I heard Saban, and this is next Tuesday.
And they run through our ass like shit through a tin horn, man, and we could not stop them.
George, who do you got? I know Alabama's your team.
I'm not going to pick. Man,
You got to stay neutral in the house there for that game?
I'll pick for you. I think Alabama will take them, so I'll pick for you.
Yeah.
But I had a question. Now, how many times has Alabama beat the same team twice for the national championship game?
Oh, good question.
Never. They lost to LSU in 2011 during the regular season and then beat them.
Well, Bama beat Georgia in 2017 in overtime in the college championship game. Mm-hmm. But that was in overtime. So if that's a prelude to what's coming up January 10th, we should have a good game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There you go.
Yeah. I'm still going to stick with Georgia only because Alabama always wins, and I want to see somebody else up on top.
Yeah, Georgia looked good. I can tell you that. They looked really, really good in Miami this weekend.
Yeah, but is Alabama going to be in their heads again?
I don't know.
Hey, Fleekster, I think that Facebook shenanigans going around about how I can't pick winners. I think I picked all of them this time, and it's on record now.
Well, before this goes live, you're gonna be that portion of the show is gonna be muted.
Yeah, the beauty of editing is.
You do that.
Yeah, so we tried to keep this down to like 20, 30 minutes. So I just have I'm just gonna talk about the Tennessee Titans here, only because 3 of us are in Middle Tennessee right now, and so I just want to ask you guys, do you think the Titans make a run?
Who they got for the rest of the year?
Well,
they're up 10-0 on Miami right now, who is a smoking hot football team.
Chicago, we're not talking about Chicago because you guys are years away from the playoffs.
Hey, we're going to reach.
Talk about playoffs.
Yeah, I think they can make a run at it, man. They've shown that they can beat good teams. They've beat good teams in the playoffs. So
yes,
they're not healthy though. Does Derrick Henry come back?
So he was on the practice field today for the first time, doing light sprints. So,
and he's the kind of guy that's if he feels decent, he's gonna make a run. And him on the field at all is a big difference, even if he's 70%.
This is not Detroit, man. This is the Super Bowl.
So they have the Dolphins today, and then they end with Texas. The thing about the thing about the Titans that are confusing is they've beaten all these like world beaters, and then they lose to the Jets and the Texans.
And the Texans were in last place.
So it's really confusing. They've been hurt all year. It seems like Julio can't get in a game.
Julio's out again today.
Yeah, he's out again today. He's got COVID now. And so if all those players could be in a game in one, like all together off the injured reserve list and healthy, yes, they can absolutely make a run.
I think if they win the next 2 games, they win today and they win next week, and they get home field, or by chance they get a bye somehow, that'll give Derrick Henry some time to get ready. If Derrick Henry's in there, I think they make a run.
For sure, yeah. And I don't even think they need Julio, to be honest with you. A.J. Brown is a beast. So
correct.
If they get Derrick Henry back, they can only make a run.
Yeah. If Derrick Henry's in uniform, and I say they make a run, and nobody cares about Julio Jones at that point. He's been a non-factor all year.
They've already beat a healthy Chiefs team this year, so they can.
Yeah.
They're going to run into him eventually if they do make a run.
Right now, I think I'm a believer in the Cowboys. I think they're on a run.
My soul.
And they can play D. They'll pick you off. They'll run all over you. They got Dak healthy. I mean, they're good. They're good. They're the hottest team in football right now, I think.
They got the talent, man.
There's some love for the Cowboys.
Listen,
where's your loyalty?
Pick a damn team there, son. The Steelers, the Bears, the Cowboys. Pick a dang team, man.
Hook 'em horns, but he's from Illinois.
That's how I'll become baseball season. I've got about every baseball hat known to man. So.
Yes. Hey, listen, speaking of that, I'm excited about that. The Tigers are going to make some waves this year, man.
Heck yeah, man. I'm a little I'm nervous. I'm a huge Yankees fan, so I'm nervous. Quiet, it's.
But you guys were talking about the Cowboys. The Cowboys are what I find in the NFL is teams that peak at the right time.
Oh yeah.
And it's a long season, 17 games. So the Cowboys, in my opinion, right now are peaking as a unit, both sides of the ball. There's somewhat they are a team to look out for. Tennessee, you guys get Big D back, Derrick Henry. Look out! Your defense is good. Derrick Henry makes that team at a whole nother level. So you guys could make a run at it. And I think the Cowboys, with all their hype and all that and all this stuff, living down here. But I actually think this year they have a chance to make a run at it. They got they're good in all 3 phases of the game, guys.
Hey, if Elliott wasn't on the team, I would give it to you, but I can't stand that. I can't even stand looking at that guy.
Well, it's not an emotional thing.
His stupid ass plugs in his noses and his crop top.
Yeah.
His stupid hair.
I can care less.
Haters are gonna hate.
And he's from Ohio.
All I want to see is smash mouth football. Football's a collision sport. It's a gladiator sport. I don't care if these guys what they do outside the game. They're not.
Sorry, I had to give you some shit there, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm just talking general in football. These guys are not supposed to be mentors. I know parents want them to be mentors, but these guys are some of the biggest, baddest dudes on earth, and they're not quite friendly. A lot of them, they're out there to play football, and it's a business to these guys. They got to get their sacks, they got to meet their get their bonuses, and it's not something that I look at like is he a nice guy or not? When I'm watching football, I could care less about all that stuff. I want to see football. I want to see big collisions, lots of touchdowns, and that's what I watch it for.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of them need mentors. Never mind be a mentor. They I wish that you saw a lot of these young players get more guidance and show them what to do with their money. So you don't see more of this Henry Ruggs stuff, so. Well,
don't get me wrong. I'm not blanking it the whole NFL, but there are players that are doing some great things in the community, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
But to put the general populace of the NFL on a pedestal or what have you, or not like them because of this or that, well, you might as well not even watch football then. I mean, you know, your feelings might get hurt a little bit, or you don't like the guy's taste in this or that or whatever he does.
It's a reality show, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well not even watch it then, you know?
Sure, yeah, I agree.
Well, all right. Well, thanks for getting together this morning, man.
We got a guest appearance here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he knows more about sports than we all do.
Yeah.
Playoffs? We'll talk about playoffs.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming on. We'll talk again next week, man. All right. Just hold on here a second till this thing downloads.
That was a good show. John, where are you from, John?
I'm originally from New York. I lived in North Carolina for about 15 years, and now I'm in Tennessee.
Yeah, good. Well,
Spread
good
out.
to have
Say again?
Come
I
again.
never- But, yeah.
All
I've
right.
been all over the East Coast.
All right, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Right on. Well, anytime
What
you
about-
want to sit in with us, man, let's do it.
John, do you watch all the sports?
Yeah, man, I watch as much sports as I can. I mean, I'll even dabble with some golf if it's on. So I'm not I don't watch a lot of hockey. I'm a Rangers fan, but I couldn't tell you a single player on the team. So
Right.
I don't watch a lot of hockey, but
Yeah.
college sports, as far as that goes, I grew up in North Carolina, so I grew up like 2 miles from UNC. Actually, I graduated high school in the Dean Smith Center.
All right.
And then my wife grew up in Durham, which is right where Duke is. So
Yeah.
college
Very
basketball is very big, and baseball.
Oh yeah.
So, but yeah.
MJ's old house.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I've seen him a lot. We're just walking down the street. So,
Really?
yeah, man. I dated a girl in high school, and her dad. It was like an all green luxury apartment complex, high rise building in downtown Chapel Hill. It's actually close to Carver. And he bought a penthouse in it. So I used to see him go up and down the elevator quite a bit.
Yeah. That's cool. Is he pretty cool? Did you get a chance to talk to him, or?
Never got a chance to talk to him, but from what I've heard, I mean, he's not going to seek you out, a conversation out with you, but he will. He'll sign some autographs, and couldn't ask for much more. So, but,
yeah. You know, did you ever see that special on the Bulls with
The Last Dance?
Yeah, The Last Dance, and Jordan is talking about.
Why's he always got to go Chicago, man? Nobody cares about Chicago, bro.
Well, I mean, I can't help it. We got MJ, and you got, I don't know what you got
Hey,
there.
listen.
Barry Sanders.
Dennis Rodman was one hell of a player and was normal until he went to Chicago and started dressing like a female. I don't know what the hell you guys do in Chicago, man, but you guys fucked him up.
You know what? Dennis Rodman in Chicago, that dude played his heart out. We loved him in there when he was there. And you know what? Coach Jackson knew how to deal with him. Basically, you don't deal with him.
Yeah, you let him do his thing.
Yeah, just let
Leave him alone.
Yeah, well, he was a big part of Detroit too.
Well,
Yeah,
MJ and Scotty probably had to corral him to get him to a few of the games, but that might be its own other story.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was Chicago that fucked him up or Madonna, or combination of two.
DeMar DeRozan just hit 2 buzzer beaters in 2 games. Did you see that? In 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty awesome.
The Bulls are in first place right now.
They got a good team, man. I like the Bulls team. I really do.
They're game up on the Nets, I think, right now.
Yeah, they got a solid team. I watch a lot of basketball too, so NBA basketball. But.
I'll just give you an update. The Bears are winning. The Bears 14-3 right now.
Meaningless game. Good job.
Yeah. They're about to fire Nagy after next week, though.
I hope they give him an extension.
Yeah, I know. whatever, toilet boy.
All right, guys, we got to take off. I'm gonna go get drunk.
All right.
See ya.
All right, thanks for coming on, John.
Yeah, man. Anytime.
All right,
Nice
bye.
to meet you.
Thanks. Bye.
All right. That was fun. You fucking Paul, bless his heart.